right, sir. Has to have been a time where George was coming after you to block. How did that turn out?
I think the first time that happened was probably like the first year you got your scout sheet you were starting. I was on the scout team for like the first couple of games. Like he came through the hole. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little shook because we made eye contact, and I was like, I'm about to get bulldozed, but I just gotta go low. And like we hit, and I was like, all right, cool. I got the butterflies out, but it was a good lick, you know. It was a little stinger in my neck there.
But you hit, you live to tell about it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. When did you two become so close?
I mean, we were pretty close since we came on our visit together, and like we talked about some stuff there. Like we were pretty cool there, and then pretty much just like I think when we lived together, sophomore year.
Yeah, our sophomore year, second year here.
Yeah.
We became really close friends, hanging out like every day.
Yeah.
And we were always going against each other in practice.
Yeah.
So and our lockers just happened to be
right
right next to each other.
Yeah.
So we were just like going against each other, like around each other nonstop.
Yeah.
And then we started living together after that year.
Yeah.
How did that arrangement come to be? Because I feel like from where I sit, George doesn't say much. Sean never really stops
Nah, he
talking.
talks, bro. No, he talks. Don't let him
I'm
fool you.
comfortable around.
Yeah. But we just I think we were just sitting around one day, like in sophomore dorms, and like after like hanging out so much, we realized we hung out so much and like did so many things together. We were like, yeah, like we just live together and shit. Why not? So we just found a house like late in the semester, and then ended up just living together since then. And like it was fine the first year, and we were just like, all right, cool, let's just do that. It's easier that way anyway. So.
You know, George almost seems to be sort of like a Paul Bunyan or Chuck Norris, like, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, did you obviously you two are very close. Is there still a part of you that's not necessarily scared of him, but is kind of just like in awe?
I would say definitely at first. Like I guess like pretty much the year he got a scholarship was something like I kind of looked up to him. You know, it's like I gotta catch up. You know, it's like I'm kind of behind. I gotta catch up. I think like the next year, like it was like the winter conditioning, and we would just go up. We would be in the front of the line every time. We just be going up against each other, and like sometimes I'll beat him, and then he beat me, and then we go back and forth like the whole day. We had more fun than like you think the workout's supposed to be bad, but like we'd be laughing at each other the whole time and like having fun with it. So like having moments where like like I get him and then he get me. We talk about it at the end of the day, like who won the most or whatever. Kind of like humanize him a little bit to me. Plus I'm around him so much, you know. But at the same time, like. The legend is real. So.
George, besides the hit you put on Sean in practice, what's your favorite hit loss in the time you've been at Pitt?
Against him? Or
No,
just
besides that, you know.
Overall?
I'm sure that's your favorite hit, but you know.
I don't really know. And there's a lot of them.
Have you had any ones that you said to yourself, that was a good one?
I got
pancake.
What?
Georgia Tech pancake.
Oh yeah,
last year.
when I first came back from injury last year, my very first play back, a pancake I got from Georgia Tech.
This was after an injury?
Yeah, last year, and then this past weekend I had a pretty good one on punt coverage. Got him pretty good.
Did you make a tackle, you mean?
Yeah, I made a tackle. I came in, cleaned him up a little bit.
You guys have both been around for a while, and you've had to earn as much on this team and in this program as anybody. I mean, what's Saturday gonna be like for you? Obviously, it's not your last game. You still have a long way to go, but your last game at Heinz Field. I mean, how special is that gonna be?
I mean, it's definitely like a big deal. Like it's senior day. Like, you know, it's kind of like wow. Like time flies for me at least. Like time kind of flew by, and like really only have like what 9 guaranteed practices left. You know, and or I guess 8 now after today. But it's kind of just like. It's just kind of a moment to sit back and like think about all the stuff you kind of already went through. Like I know I sit back with my family and stuff like that and kind of think back to like, when we first got here and all the stuff that we went through to get to this point. So, but I think he has more, especially for this game. You know, like last year he was kind of on the sideline for this game, and like that throughout the season pretty much that affected me. But this game and how that ended last year, I think that at least in my head, I think for him it speaks a lot more. But not to make it a big deal.
You weren't in Blacksburg for that game last year, were you? You were. So what was it like just watching from the sideline on that goal line stand?
I mean, like I've had some tough losses like here and just like in my life, but that one probably hurt more than any other loss I've ever had, honestly. Even though I wasn't playing, like that hurt pretty bad.
Is that doubly because you're from right up 81 and right in Virginia?
I mean, just the way we lost is a pretty tough way to lose. I mean, I felt like we had the game right there.
Is that a circumstance too where you feel like if I'm in there, I could have done something to change the outcome?
I mean, it's hard to say, but I mean, I feel like I would have done my job and maybe helped us a little bit.
Been told us that the line has talked about that during the off season. That was a big topic. We're not going to let that happen again. Is that something that you saw has been a motivator?
I think it was like in talks like for a little bit after the season, but after a while, you kind of just forget about it. It's like you just got to take care of what you can control right now, each day, one day at a time.
George, I think you had something like 8 touchdowns or something 2 years ago, right? And since then, you haven't been getting the ball as much. But if you watch these like rebroadcasts and stuff, the commentators are constantly just like talking about you hitting these blocks and like just in awe of you and talking about your potential to play at the next level. So even though you're not getting the ball as much, do you feel like you're able to show your impact and what you can do for scouts at the next level?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like whatever my job is, I'm gonna get it done, whatever that may be. I feel like I've definitely become a lot better football player this year, even though I don't have the stats. But I mean, before, even though I was scoring touchdowns, I wasn't doing anything crazy or anything. Like guys were just blocking real good, and my job, I had like the easiest job on those plays.
Are you still the king of the weight room?
Oh yeah.
Anybody come close?
Steph was a little close, but I passed him up this past weekend.
You get challenged by the guys?
No.
There's no challenge.
It's not really that close. It's not really that close.
What's your numbers? What's your best numbers?
We never like really max out, but I'm around 6 something on squad, 4 high 4s on bench.
During your all's time here, you know, the situation that it awaits you guys on Saturdays when you all have been in, you know, to a certain extent, a couple different times. You know, three years ago it was North Carolina, a couple years ago it was Virginia Tech as well, where you have a chance to kind of set your own destiny toward winning that division. What about this game or this week feels, or about this team going into the game feels different to you guys?
I can't really remember exactly, but I think that we haven't been in this position this late in the season before. Like it's pretty late in the season, and we control it, like our own destiny. We just got to win a couple more games, and then we'll be in the championship. But just one game at a time, one practice at a time, one day at a time, and that'll help us win.
Herndon was named ACC Lineman of the Week. George, I know you're pretty tight with him too. You're both from Western Virginia. I guess, Sean, if you want to answer. So, I mean, just what can you say about what Mike's done, sort of persevering through stuff, and how far he's come in his career?
I mean, he really might be one of the most mentally strong guys I've ever met in my entire life. He's been through some things in his life that nobody could really imagine being in that position, and just the way he carries himself, the way he goes about each day, whatever he's doing, you never know. And I look up to him, the way he carries himself and the way he's able to do what he does.
He's definitely one of the more consistent guys. Like, never really complains about anything ever. He just comes up with the same attitude every day. You kind of see it like in the way he walks in. He'll come in, see his face. It's the same face every day, same mic you get every day. He'll fool around with you every once in a while and stuff like that. Like, he's a cool dude. But like, he really comes up with the same consistent attitude every day, no matter what he's going through, physical pain, mental pain, whatever it is. I don't think I've ever seen him in a moment where it's like you're really not yourself today, or where you can really question is he gonna be able to play well, whatever, anything like that. He just really does a good job every single day, because he's a very, very consistent player, and I think that's always been the case with him since at least we've known him. I would think. So.
I hear you guys talking about Mike, and it seems like we're a very tight class. What's Saturday gonna be like? I know we kind of asked you that, but as a group, what's Saturday gonna be like?
I mean, it's gonna be pretty emotional. I was just thinking about it the other day. I can't believe it's their last home game at Heinz Field. I wasn't even thinking about it till after this game this past weekend. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty surreal that it's finally coming to an end.
You feel like you guys, you came under Paul Chris' staff, but do you feel like you kind of laid that foundation for what Coach Narduzzi's been able to do so far and will continue to do here?
I think so.
Either one of you?
I definitely agree. I mean, it's like with the new coach coming in, whenever that comes in, it takes a little bit of time to kind of set that down and kind of have the culture set in. But I think it definitely has, and guys are definitely kind of taking into that attitude, and just really the foundation, everything that he sets in the back wall over there, everything he says and everything he's about is really starting to set in. And with the guys, you know, looking past us, who are the future here, you kind of see that really become a mindset of theirs, you know, and they're really bought into the whole thing. So it's really nice to see that and kind of have that being like not a worry anymore for anything, and just having that set, you know, a solid base is always important.
Sean, especially for you as a local guy, what have these last four years meant to you, and you know, what's it going to be like for this last game at Heinz Field, and how important is it to go out with a win?
I mean, it's kind of wild. I mean, as a local guy, I mean, it's always a big deal to kind of win at home, you know, whenever you get the chance to. And this being the last game, me being a senior and everything like that, and this is the last time I'll see Heinz, at least as a college student. It's exciting at the same time, just kind of like not necessarily sad, but still sad in a way. You know, I'm gonna miss playing in that field at this level, playing like with the same people that I play with this team in general at home. You know, so, but I'm excited for it. It's gonna be a good game. Regardless, I'm always excited for anything really, but yeah, it should be fun.
You guys have played some tight games with Virginia Tech. Did it feel like a rival because of what's been at stake and the way these games have played out?
I mean, they're always a pretty good team each year, and they always give us a tough game. But, I mean, I don't know if we really say it's a rival, but I mean, it's always a big game on our schedule. And winning or losing usually affects like us to some extent each year, so it's always a big game.
You guys room together on the road too, or is that just a?
Yeah, we don't choose that.
No, we don't pick that one, but we probably would if we got to. But yeah, no, we don't choose that. That's I think as far as like position wise, they set that up. So.
For sorry.
Go ahead, Craig. You get the last one.
For senior day, George, I feel like some guys on the offensive end of the ball maybe fantasize about getting a touchdown or scoring the winning play or something. I mean, for you as a fullback, if you could do one thing that would really, you know, sort of cap off that day and make you feel as fulfilled and happy about what happened as possible, aside from your team getting a win, would it be like laying a big block that springs a big run? What would it be for you?
Yeah, I was gonna say just as long as we win, but I mean, just to be able to like have perfect blocks, like get my job done on every single play like I'm in, and just let the offense have like best day we've ever had.
Okay, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you all.